everyone, welcome back. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. I just got myself the Forrest Sherman, or the F Sherman, not to be confused with P Sherman of 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, Australia. I have kids, so I've seen Finding Nemo quite a bit. So this boat is definitely not a Smallland, it's not an Elbing, it's not a Holland. It's a bit of a difficult boat to belay, but it's a gunboat. It's not a torpedo boat. When you see the Torpedo Angles and some of the other testing I did, you'll understand why this will never be classified as a torpedo boat. But her Daka is unreal. Alright, so let's go take a look at the boat. What does it look like? How is she laid out? Just remember one thing, I'm still learning this boat a bit, so I might change some things up, but this seems to be about the best build for me so far that I've seen and putting together. So, with regards to armor, she's only 19 mil, all the way in the side. The side plate itself on the gearing, for instance, is 21, so it makes it a little harder for destroyers to penetrate. But your HE can penetrate most destroyers, but when you see in a minute here what it can do with HE and SAP, it's nothing to write home about. I've got mine set up for hit points for 28.4, so I've got a bunch of upgrades to make sure. She has no heal, so you want to make sure you have that. Okay, here's the magic. The gunboat, 3x 127 millimeter. These are 5-inch guns. They can fire a maximum range of 14.6 miles. The biggest thing for her is the reload at 1.5 seconds and a turret traverse of 4.5 seconds. Like, you don't ever have to upgrade that. She is a Daka boat. She does have some interesting qualities that I've got it up to, so my chance of firing HE is 11%, which is not bad, but I've had to take specialty flags, captain skills, which I'll go through and show you. You really do want to set it up as a fire starter. It's really good that way against battleships. However, with the HE only being 21 millimeter, you're going to struggle with battleships and heavy cruisers. Destroyers and light cruisers are okay at tier 9, tier 10, but the SAP is fantastic. The SAP can absolutely obliterate destroyers. And our HE is okay, especially at 36 millimeter. Light cruisers, SAP, again, not bad from the side, but in the front you'll see a bit later. Nothing to write home to about. Overall, I would say to me, this is a fire boat if you want to take on a battleship. And now we have this awkward moment till we go to the next one. Torpedo tubes. She has 2 single launchers on each side. These are ASW torpedoes, anti-submarine warfare. They are not designed for ships. When you see the angles and how horrible they are, you'll know why it's not a torpedo boat. They're gearing torpedoes at 16.5. Depth charge, AA, is pretty standard. Maneuverability, this is another one I'm struggling with, is rudder shift. I've got it down to 5.3 because she's 35.6 knots for speed. But I'm trying to find out if I want to have rudder shift or I want to have props so I can slow down quicker and whatnot. Not quite sure. Concealment's decent at 6.5 with the captain skills. And her detectability when she's on fire is 8.5 kilometers. So you're going to be using your repair a lot. That puts you up there with the Tashkent, the Kabas, the Russian boats, French boats, IKEA boats. It's not good. You're going to get spotted, and it's a glass jaw. But it does have 3.1 penalty in smoke, which is excellent. She is a premium ship, so there's no upgrades. I take main armor modifications, as always do. It's just my staple in my life. I did do the hydroacoustic upgrade because I wanted to have a long-lasting hydro. I also did it with flags as well for smoke and for hydro. Hydro and smoke are your friends, and it's a destroyer smoke. Aiming modification, she's a destroyer, so I want to take that. There's other options out there. I could have had a smoke upgrader, but I really want to make sure my shells hit. You only get 3 guns. And here's the one I took for propulsion modifications as opposed to rudder shifts. So I'm not sure which one I want to do just yet. Being able to slow down and get into smoke and be able to turn to drop your speed is quite substantial, especially if you want to juke away from battleships. Concealment is always very important for me because you want to get it down. This is why a high tier captain's required. I did take gunfire control system modification too. I wanted to extend my range. She has damage control, smoke, and of course hydro. Not bad at all. It's 3.5 kilometers for Torps and 5K for ship. So when you're playing something like the Haida and whatnot, I do the same thing, or the Gear or the Daring at tier 10. I charge. turn my hydro on, and just charge a destroyer and use SAP. Especially if you're going to get destroyers that decide to hide in smoke. And yes, people at tier 10 still do that. Her defensive AA, you're going to see in a bit here, it's actually quite good. These are the flags that I use. Didn't put that one economic flag in. I do fire chance, and I want to extend my smoke, and I want to extend my hydro as much as possible. These are the gimmicks that actually make the boat work. If she gets far enough away and she's in smoke, and you have hydro running, you can see torpedoes, you can shoot. Captain skills for me with Daka. Preventive maintenance. I don't want to be dead in the water. That's why I'll take last stand. That's your worst case scenario. Priority target, obviously, because I want to see how people are targeting me. Because you will draw the ire of people. Again, more fire chance as best as possible. I think this boat would be great with Bull Halsey as a captain. Superintendent, I want more charges. I want more AA, especially in today's aircraft carrier world. And again, no heal, so I take survivability expert to get it up there. That's an extra 3,500 health for me. I also take concealment. That's important to me. And for destroyers now, I am taking more and more dazzle. This is a really good skill. For 15 seconds, there's a 20% reduction in people's ability to actually hit me. It does help when you've been spotted and you want to disengage. Especially boats that don't have smoke. Alright, so let's go look over at the AA. Here's a tier 8 aircraft carrier. I gotta be honest with you, if you're an aircraft carrier and you come across to this boat and defensive A is turned on, you're not going to do it twice, hopefully. Because it's going to hurt a lot. Then I bought into obviously a tier 10 carrier. This one took a little bit more time, but not much. I'd have to say, like when I looked at the Dido at tier 6, and then this one that actually are built in the Ramat tier 6 as well that do have AA, I'm going to say AA is pretty good. I like this. If you're an aircraft carrier and you want to keep doing this all day to me, I do not mind in any way, shape, or form. Now, I did go in the training room here, and I wanted to show some bits and pieces of it. I spent a few hours here showing you what it can and can't do with SAP and HE, because it's very important. I mean, I'm taking on a Shimakaze, and we all know everyone's got to see a Shimakaze. Shimakaze here, this is with SAP. It is very, very damning. Then I switched over to HE. Again, a bit more lackluster because of the low pen. But I am more chip shotting. It is what it is. SAP is your friend. I took on the aircraft carrier here. Again, I'm going to start off with SAP. Again, I would use SAP in an aircraft carrier, not HE, if you can. And then when you take a little example of HE, it's mostly chip damage. If you want to get into the 1700s and 2000s and 1500s, you're going to want to use SAP as much as possible. That's my view. And then here comes the disappointment. This is no Elbing. And this is no upcoming, Italian destroyer or our Tashcan. HE just does chip damage. Its main specialty is going to be fires. SAP, again, more chip damage on the superstructure. You're not really going to pen the battleship. And don't forget, this Schlesien would be killing me with its secondaries right now if it could see me. And here's what I talked to you about the torpedo angles. It's not a torpedo boat. This is actually hard to launch these single tubes. I had to think about it for a minute. Got a couple shots off in the Schlesien and I wanted to see what kind of damage it would do to a battleship. That might be the only time I use it. Yeah, about average 13,000. Not great. Then I went outside to bring up the Elbing. It's a proverbial destroyer acting like a light cruiser. Or is it a light cruiser acting like a destroyer? Again, chip shots with HE. SAP is your ticket. All destroyers are allergic to SAP. It can devastate you. It's not a cruiser SAP, but it can still do a lot of damage. I was happy with this. I also put it in the Mino, British light cruiser. I wanted to see what it would do with HE. Again, HE was pretty good. This, because of the Mino's armor, which is only 16 millimeter in the front and the back, you can pen it obviously, but it's a fire starter, especially the superstructure. She has a very weak superstructure. So on the British series, you can actually make it work quite well. I was very happy with that. SAP did decent. It was more high-end chip damage, but it wasn't anything to write home to. And one of the last tests that I really want to do and test out was getting this 16 millimeter on the bow and the SAP angles to attack. You're going to get a lot of bounces. It's just the way it is. You really want to catch ships broadside as much as possible. In this scenario, I'd be lighting the superstructure up with HE, and I want to see what SAP would do. So we decided to shoot just directly on the bow. I mean, I've seen Minos charge in my day. It's kind of okay. You're getting some pens, but not a whole lot of damage. And then I switched up to the superstructure. Overall, you can see we're doing the dirigibles. I love the dirigible races. I got a video coming out tomorrow about that. It's a lot of fun, like brawling. I like these new convoy modes. I like the dirigibles. I like these things. It's fun. Overall, how do I feel about this boat? It's no Smalland. It's no Holland. It's no Tashcan. It is a 1950s destroyer, basically. It's got 3 guns. It's a gunboat. It's a Daka boat. It can, as a destroyer, it can take on, as far as I'm concerned, any other real destroyer. It might struggle against the Kitakazi, the Haragumos, or boats like the French boat, especially with the reload booster. Overall, it's a fun boat. I do like it. It's something different. I like doing different boats. I gotta give compliments to the Wargaming Arts Department. They nailed the look of this boat. So I was very happy with it. And my teammate Navy chick just died. The drawback, I would say, to the boat is you're going to definitely struggle against battleships, especially something like the Schlesien with secondaries. You're going to have a bad day. So you got to be behind islands. You know, things that you would typically do in a Kitakazi, Haragumo, maybe a French boat, Marceau, whatnot. And the shells are very lofty, so getting in close to destroyers is a lot better for you. Anyway, that's it for this review. I like it. It's a good boat. I'm glad I have it. As always, take care, stay safe, and I wish you all the best. If you want to leave a comment down below, feel free. Bye for now.